YouTube, it's Lion here with Hobbies of a Man once again, and today we are doing another Kaiju number 8 chapter review. Today we will be reviewing chapter 24. Now, as usual, we're going to do a recap, a discussion with spoilers, and then a theory crafting session at the end. And yeah, so two things before we start. One, you guys should check out the video I made talking about a first look and comparison of this volume to, Western volumes that are available. Basically go through the video, show you all of the different little things that this volume has, because since it is a Japanese release, it has a few different features to it that American volumes don't. And I also compare it to a lot of different other volumes, and also give my opinion on whether or on what size I want the volume to be in. However, I do think this is going to be a regular tankobon, similar to Spy Family or Naruto, whatever regular tankobons you like. So yeah, check out that video. It's up there in the card. And the other thing is, if you want to watch the video for last week, feel free to go either to the playlist at the end of the video, up here in the card, to check out the video from last time, or, just read the chapter and then come back to this one. So yeah, now let's just jump into it. So the recap here from last chapter is that, last chapter was partially a transition chapter, and I think this week's chapter is as well. But this one actually, or like last time's, was more about okay, we finished, we need to move the story forward and do some character developing and then start the next arc, which is exactly what basically ended up happening. Kafka was up late. He checks in with Hoshina, who's doing some practicing, and he talks to him about his promotion and how Mina told him that Hoshina believed in him. They have a bit of a heart-to-heart moment where he's like, not really, but I believe in at least 1% of you. And Kafka, gets this oh my God, I won't ever fail you kind of thing. And, it was cool. And really the best part last time was that the chapter ended with a new humanoid kaiju showing up, which was awesome. I really liked it. Now, chapter 24 is 22 pages long, and we are going into the spoiler territory now. So if you haven't read this chapter, please make sure to go read it first and then come back and enjoy the video. So essentially, it's the same night as chapter 23, and Hoshina is at his desk. He's thinking about Kaiju number 8 and realizing the humanity of it, how human-like it was, which is really interesting. It was really nice to see Hoshina be so, not eloquent, but smart and able to connect thoughts. And it's actually very nice because it highlights, hey, he's very qualified for his position, so that's really good all around. And then he's talking about Kaiju number 9's powers, which is the humanoid Kaiju. But that name doesn't really work anymore because there's another humanoid Kaiju, so we're just going to start referring to them by numbers. So Kaiju number 9 has the ability to turn into a human, which, like I said last video, I think has to do with the type of Kaiju that he was, because he was very fungal-like, and there's a lot of funguses that take over things. I can't remember the one that I was mentioning specifically, but there's this fungus that infects ants, and then it uses ants like it wants to, it controls their brain to move them, which is very similar to basically what this fungus Kaiju is doing. And yeah, basically he's realizing, hey, there's more to it than we thought at first, and I like that, but he doesn't ever finish that because the scene shifts. Kafka is remembering the chat he had with Hoshina about how, I trust 1% of you, and Kafka has this big moment of resolve and resolution, conviction building, which is really nice. He does the whole thing with where he scrunches his fist and it's yeah, which is always cool. And basically, he starts to head to bed. And as he's doing that, we see a few panels of very heavy motion. It feels like stuff is dropping, which is really nicely done. Basically, how this was achieved is there's a clear part in the center, and then the edges are blurred, and then there's a bunch of lines coming out of it. And so it feels like stuff is moving downwards really fast, which is really cool. And then we have another page, which is a colored page, which is awesome. And I really hope that the physical volumes also do that, because I think it would look really, really nice. And basically it's I thought it was like fire hail, which would be like meteors falling from the sky, but I think it actually turns out to be the dragon kaiju. And so Kafka is like walking away and the stuff is falling behind him. And then at the last second, he turns around because he like hears noise and he's like, oh God, what's going on? And then, you know, impact, stuff explodes. Kafka ends up on the ground, kind of like, what the hell's going on? And everyone starts to wake up. And yeah, the glasses girl shows up again. I really need to know her name, but I don't think we have it yet. And she starts to say, hey, kaiju showed up. There's a lot of them, and they're all Hanju level, which is above fortitude 6, I think. I'm not exactly sure how it is because I think the Dai Kaiju was 9.8, and the ones that we're seeing right now are 6 point something. None of them go up to 7, but I'm not really sure. And we never knew how powerful Kaiju number 9 was beyond the fact that he was Kaiju number 9. So kind of interesting there. I'm not really sure where the power levels for each Kaiju fall in, but Kafka is definitely way more powerful than all of the dragon wyverns that are showing up. Yeah, basically the dragons are shooting fireballs at things. Well, I'm not sure that they're fireballs, but they're definitely fire looking, like, I don't know, plasma balls that they're shooting out of their mouth. So a fireball, basically the same thing. And the scene shifts again. Hoshina is mobilizing units. He's calling everyone. He's like, hey, nighttime units show up. Everyone else get up and get ready because it's time to fight. And it was really good. The scene shifts again to Kafka. He's super worried. He has no idea what's going on. And he picks up on this detail about the behavior of wyvern type kaiju, which are the dragon looking guys that are there. And he's like, hey, these guys never work together. There's I think he said that there's like 10 of them show up a year and they rarely ever show up together. So there's a problem here. If someone else is controlling them, he calls it in. He tells Hoshina, hey man, there's some stuff going on here. Something fishy is about to happen. Be prepared. I think there's someone powerful behind this. And as soon as he finishes that, we go back to Hoshina and the dragon kaiju shows up. He walks towards them, which we're going to call him kaiju number 10 until, because I think that's what's going to happen. I think he's just going to be kaiju number 10 because I think humanoid kaijus are just significantly more powerful. He shows up, he's super menacing, very, like, basically parallel or almost exactly the same as when kaiju number 9 shows up, which is really cool. I like that. And it seems to be like a pattern that we're going to see. I hope to see it repeat at least 1 or 2 times before we get a much more cool introduction to the new evil kaiju. Then he says, target found, which is very robotic. I saw some people talking about it in the subreddit that maybe kaiju just don't have human emotions because kaiju number 9 also was saying that kaiju number 8 was really emotional, and that's kind of weird. I don't necessarily think so. I think that they're just much more military oriented, and so they won't really express themselves as well as humans, or they're of a species that's too far ahead, and so what feels like emotional to us is probably just like weird to them. I'm not really sure. But yeah, he's really menacing. He shows up, he says, target found, and Hoshina's like, Kafka, I'm gonna need to hang up right now. I'm gonna be busy. And that's the end. And then at the end, which is really cool, is that there's a new page that says the start of the 3rd chapter begins next week, something like that. And it says the name of the arc, which is cool. I think it's like Attack on Hoshikawa Base or something like that, which is really awesome. It's cool that the arcs are being, what's it called, labeled. I don't think I've seen that before in other manga. I'm not exactly sure, so who knows? But yeah, the chapter was great. I really enjoyed it. I loved it a lot. I definitely think this was a transitionary chapter, but I think it's going to be really nice going forward, and we're going to have a lot of more heavy action as opposed to the lighter action to keep you entertained while, you know, we develop the characters. And it seems interesting because they're not targeting Kafka. They're targeting Hoshina as far as we know. So that's very interesting. Now, let's get into the theory building so that I can actually talk about all of this. So, first of all, I think my theory from last time was correct, or at least correct enough so far. And if you guys don't remember or didn't watch the video, basically my theory was that new kaiju humanoids that show up are basically the most powerful of their type or of their tribe or whatever the case may be, and they have control over all the other kaiju that fall under the definition they fall under. So from last time, kaiju number 9 is a fungal type kaiju, at least visually. And so he can control all of the mushroom looking kaiju from the last couple chapters that we saw. And then this one, he looks really draconic. I think I said draconic last time, and I'm not really sure which is the proper pronunciation of the word, but basically he looks really dragon-like. And so he controls dragon-type kaiju, which are these wyvern class, which is really cool. Hopefully that is how it works, and then we can work through there in a way to find some cool stuff out of it. But I'm not really sure how it's going to work. And I don't know if these kaiju also have specific attributes, like magic types, I guess. Like, is this dragon-type kaiju a fire user as well, or what? It's a very interesting concept there, and I'm really excited to see why that is. Now, the second theory is, why is Hoshina being targeted? Is it because of his heritage? Because if we remember from chapter 18, I think, or chapter 20, somewhere around there, Hoshina tells us that he is a descendant of a long line of kaiju hunters, and he has very special kaiju hunting techniques that take into account his physical ability with swords and stuff, basically like a kaiju killing ninja. And he even has that Renegon looking eye thing, which is cool. So is it because of his lineage, and what is the goal here? Are they trying to capture him to take information from him? Are they trying to turn him into a kaiju, or what are they going to be doing? I'm really excited to see where it goes. I personally think they're just trying to kill him because he's from a long lineage, and so he might have information or intel that other kaiju hunting units might not be privy to, and they want to destroy him so that that information doesn't come into other people's hands. That theory has a huge hole, and it's that they should have already killed him if that's the case. But I'm not really sure, because it might have been that they didn't really know about him until until kaiju number 9 stalked him out, basically. So yeah, that's the two theories that I had. Let me know if you guys had any theories down below in the comments. I would love to hear them. And thank you guys very much for watching. Once again, if you want to watch the rest of the videos, please do so. The playlist is at the end of the video. And if you want to check out the video where I talk about this, please do so. It's up in the card already. So thank you guys very much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. And if you did, like I said, drop me a comment down below, a like, subscribe, all that stuff. And yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. See you guys later.